My heart shattered the day I saw Samantha with him. Her laughter, once my favorite melody, now echoed with betrayal. For 5 years, she was my everything. I was saving up, planning a future, a life together. I had even bought a ring, a beautiful diamond that was supposed to symbolize our forever. But forever came to a crashing halt when I found out she'd been seeing another man, a wealthy businessman named Julian, for months. The pain was a physical thing, a constant ache in my chest. I wanted to scream to confront her, but then a different thought took root. A cold, calculated thought. She didn't know I knew, and she definitely didn't know what I was capable of. I decided to play along, to become the best actor she had ever seen. I pretended to be the same loving, trusting Eric. Every "I love you" felt like acid on my tongue, but I said it. Every smile I gave her was a mask for the storm brewing inside. I listened to her complain about work, comforted her when she was down, all the while knowing she was probably texting him under the table. It was agonizing, but it was necessary. My plan needed time to marinate, to become perfect. I started digging, using my skills as a financial analyst to look into Julian's business. He was flashy, arrogant, and it didn't take long to find the cracks in his perfect facade. Julian's company, a supposedly booming tech startup, was a house of cards. He was over-leveraged, making risky investments, and cooking the books to attract more investors. It was a classic pump-and-dump scheme, and he was getting ready to cash out, leaving everyone else with nothing. Samantha was just a trophy for him, a beautiful woman to have on his arm as he charmed his way through the city's elite. She was blinded by the money, the fancy dinners, the empty promises. She thought she had found a golden ticket, but she was just a pawn in his game. And I was about to become the player who flipped the entire board. I gathered my evidence meticulously. Bank statements, internal emails I managed to acquire through a contact, public records that didn't quite add up. I compiled a detailed dossier on Julian's fraudulent activities. It was a ticking time bomb, and I held the detonator. Meanwhile, I continued my charade with Samantha. In a twisted way, it became a game. Much could I make her believe I was still the clueless boyfriend? I even helped her pick out a dress for a big gala Julian was hosting. A gala that was meant to be his crowning achievement, where he'd announce a massive new round of funding. She told me it was a work event. The irony was almost too much to bear. The night of the gala arrived. Samantha looked stunning, a vision in a red dress. She gave me a quick, distracted kiss goodbye, telling me she'd be home late. "Have fun at your work thing," I said, my voice steady, betraying none of the chaos inside me. The moment her car pulled away, I set my plan into motion. I sent the complete dossier anonymously to 3 key people: the top financial journalist in the city, the lead investigator at the Securities and Exchange Commission, and Julian's biggest, most ruthless investor. I timed it perfectly. The emails would land just as Julian was taking the stage to give his grand speech. I watched a live stream of the event from my apartment. I saw Julian on stage, smug and confident. I saw Samantha in the front row, looking at him with adoration. Then, I saw the first ripple. A phone lit up. Then another. A murmur spread through the crowd. The journalist I contacted was already on his feet, his face a mask of shock and excitement. Julian's smile started to falter. He could sense the shift in the room. His biggest investor, a stone-faced man in the 3rd row, stood up and walked out, his phone pressed to his ear. Panic flashed in Julian's eyes. His empire was crumbling in real time, lived for everyone to see. The aftermath was a media firestorm. Julian's company imploded overnight. He was arrested, facing a mountain of fraud charges. His name was plastered across every headline, not as a brilliant entrepreneur, but as a con artist. And Samantha? Her world came crashing down with his. The luxury apartment, the designer clothes, the social status, it all vanished. She was publicly humiliated, the girlfriend of a fraudster. She tried to come back to me, of course. She showed up at my door, crying, saying she had made a terrible mistake, that she loved me all along. I let her say her piece. I listened to her excuses, her pleas. When she was finished, I looked her in the eyes, my own devoid of the love that once lived there. "A mistake?" I asked, my voice cold as ice. A mistake is forgetting to take out the trash, Samantha. What you did was a choice. I then calmly laid out everything I knew. I told her I knew about the affair from the start. I told her how I watched her lie to my face for months. And then, for the grand finale, I told her it was me. It was me who brought Julian's world crashing down. The look on her face, a mixture of disbelief, horror, and dawning comprehension, was more satisfying than I could ever have imagined. I didn't do it just for revenge. I did it to expose a criminal and to protect innocent investors from being ruined. But I won't lie. Seeing Samantha realize that the man she abandoned, the man she thought was a simple, boring pushover, was the architect of her downfall, that was the sweetest victory. I closed the door on her, and for the first time in months, the ache in my chest was gone. I was free. Sometimes, the best way to heal a broken heart is to make sure the people who broke it understand the consequences of their actions. I sold the engagement ring and used the money for a down payment on my own place. A new beginning, built on the ashes of her betrayal. My final revenge wasn't just about her downfall. It was about my rise. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It was a tough chapter of my life, but I came out stronger on the other side. If you've ever been through something similar, know that you're not alone and that your own strength is your greatest asset. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more stories. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.